So every year I get to talk to a few hundred security guard company owners and managers, and a majority of them think that either the national or multinational security guard companies or the bottom feeders are destroying the security guard industry. And I wanted to take some time today and share with you what I think you're doing wrong if that's what you believe. Hey everybody, it's Courtney Sparkman, CEO and founder of OfficerReports.com. And before we get started on today's topic, if you could subscribe and like the video, it would help me out a lot. So back in the early 2000s, I started a security guard company with my father. We didn't grow to be a $100 million company, but we did fairly well for ourselves. And in that process, I never really felt like the nationals or the multinationals or the bottom feeders were really hampering my business. And that's because I think I had a pretty good understanding of who my actual competition was. So let's talk about your competition as a security guard company. This is not your competition. This is not your competition. And this is not your competition either. And why don't I think the nationals are your competition? And this is coming from somebody who was out there hustling and bidding against the nationals occasionally when I had my security guard company. The reason is the nationals are typically going to go after your large contracts, your highly visible contracts, right? Which everybody's going to go after. So if you're going after those, you'll definitely see them in the bid room with you, right? But 9 times out of 10, you aren't going to win those. So how do you go about winning contracts? Well, my guess is if you're a security guard company owner or manager, you're probably servicing customers within your area. And you're going to know your neighborhood, your city better than a lot of the business development managers at the majors, right? You're driving around your areas, right? That's where you're servicing. That's where you're supplying security guards. You're going to see more than that business development manager is, right? Those are the contracts that you want to go after. The ones that you get a chance to see every day that not everybody's going to know about. Typically, when I had my security guard company, that's who we bid on, right? When I went to my bid conferences, there weren't nationals there. There were other companies that kind of looked like our company, not the nationals. Again, it's because we chose our customers or our prospective customers a lot differently. Now again, there's nothing wrong with going after what we'll call your flagship accounts, but you can't run your business or believe that your business is going to survive if that's all you go after. You have to go after things where the nationals aren't going to be. And there are a lot of those out there. You just have to go find them and chase them down. So let's talk about how the nationals or multinationals are winning these contracts at rates that you say no one can supply good service based on that billing rate. So first, let's keep in mind that I've never worked at a national or a multinational, but this is my understanding of how it works. So each national, let's say just large security guard company, is going to have a branch office, right, that operates in your area. At that branch office, they're going to have a set number of non-billable people, and maybe we're talking about your field supervisors, accounting staff, and any other non-billable people. So what has to happen is this branch has to have a certain number of customers that they can bill that cover the cost. And I'm an awful drawer. But these customers cover the cost of this base pool of employees. So once these customers have covered off on these employees, after that, any other customer that they pick up, let's say you'll have to have a contingency of security officers that are going to work at each one of these customers. But as long as these customers are paying for their own security officers, the branch only has to make a few cents, right, in profit. because again, all of their costs are already covered. These are the fixed costs, those are done. Anything else that they can pick up, pennies over the billing rate or over what it needs to be to pay for those security officers, right? And when you're bidding up against a branch where, they have their fixed cost already allocated, then you're probably not going to win this bid. Unless the branch is going in saying, hey, you know what, we just want to really pad our numbers and we're going to bid some astronomical number just in case we win. So that's typically, that's my understanding of how large security guard companies work. And I hope that makes sense. So as a small to medium-sized security guard company, why would you ever want to enter into one of those bids, right? As a small company, you need to be making a profit. So the objective is to find bids where the nationals and the multinationals aren't going to be, right? So the neighborhood bids where you're going to pick up, 128s, 168s, those are going to be your bread and butter. Typically, with accounts of that size, your 40s, your 128s, your 168s, those type of accounts aren't large enough to garner a lot of attention from the nationals and multinationals. And in a lot of instances, what you'll find is those accounts will tell you, well, we aren't really interested in working with your Securitas's, G4S, Allied Universals, because we've had bad experiences with them. We weren't large enough to really, again, garner any attention. So you, as a small to medium-sized business who should be about providing quality service, will typically win out against your large organizations in those bids. Next, let's talk about your bottom feeders. If you find yourself losing a lot of bids to low bidders or bottom feeders, one of three things is happening. First, you're doing a poor job of educating your buyers. Two, you're not doing a very good job of differentiating yourself from other companies. Or three, you're just looking at the wrong customers. And in each three of those instances, that's something that you can correct. If you're going and placing bids at places that only accept the lowest bid, that's not a customer that you really want. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I've had one or two of those customers in the past, and it never fails. The people that beat you up the most on price are going to be your most demanding customers, and they will suck the lifeblood out of your company. So if that's the case, leave those guys alone. If you're failing to differentiate your company, that's something that you can fix. Choose a category or a sector within within the security guard industry where you can specialize and really put together a security guard program that services the needs of those customers. And educating the buyer, that might not be something that you can do immediately, but might be more of a long-term project, and we'll address that in a video probably within the next week or two. So in conclusion, if the nationals, multinationals, and bottom feeders are your biggest complaint, take a step back, look at the customers that you're going after, and make some adjustments. Thanks a lot, Security World. Talk to you guys later.